Hello everyone, today we will be reading chapter number 5 of class 6th, chapter India, that is Bharat. In India, at a very early time, the spiritual and cultural unity was not complete and became the very stuff of the life of all this great surge of humanity between the Himalayas and the two seas. Sri Aurobindo. Figure 5.1, a scene from rural India about 2300 years ago, north gate of the great Sachi Stupa. The big questions. Question number 1, how do we define India? Question number 2, what were the ancient names of India? Figure 5.2, a physical map of India subcontinent with some of its rivers. Today, the India we know is a modern nation with defined borders, defined states, and unknown population. However, it was very different 500 years ago, 2000 years ago, or even 5000 years ago. This region of the world, which we often call the Indian subcontinent, has had many different names and shifting boundaries. We can learn about India's past and evolution from many different sources. Let us explore. Think about it. Consider the physical map of Indian subcontinent at the start of the chapter. What are its natural boundaries that you can make out? In the course of history, India has been called by many names, both by its inhabitants and by visitors from outside. These names came from us from ancient texts, account of travelers and pilgrims and inscriptions. Inhabitants, people who live in a particular place. How Indians name India. The Rig Veda in India's most ancient text, as we will see in chapter 7, it is several thousand years old. It gives the northwest region of the subcontinent the name Sapta Sindhva, that is, the land of the seven rivers. The word Sindh comes from Sindhu, which refers to Indus River or at times to a river in general. Figure 5.3, the northwest region of the Indian subcontinent. Moving on in time, we see names of other part of India appear in the literature. The Mahabharata is one of the India's most famous texts. We read about it in the theme, our cultural heritage and knowledge traditions. Interestingly, it lists many regions such as Kashmir, more or less today's Kashmir, Kurukshetra, part of Haryana today, Vanga, parts of Bengal, Prayag Jyotisha, roughly today's Assam, Kutch, today's Kutch, Kerala, more or less today's Kerala, and so on. Let's explore. Do you recognize the names of any regions given in the map figure 5.4 on page 79? List the one that you have heard of. But when do we come across a name for the entire Indian subcontinent because ancient India texts are different to date? This is not an easy question to answer. The Mahabharata uses the term Bharatvarsh and Jambudvipa, and scholars generally agree that this long poem was written from a few centuries BCE onward. The first term, Bharatvarsh, clearly extends to the entire subcontinent, and the text includes the name of numerous rivers and peoples. Bharatvarsh means the country of the Bharatas. Bharat is a name that first appears in the Rig Veda, where it refers to one of the main Vedic groups of people. In later literature, several kings named Bharat are mentioned. The second term, Jambudvipa, means the island of the fruit of jamun tree. This is indeed a common tree native to India, also called jambul tree, Malabar plum tree, etc. Jambulvipa came to meaning the Indian subcontinent. In fact, we get a good clue from an Indian emperor. His name is Ashoka, and we will meet him later. For now, we can take his date to about 250 BCE. As we will see, he left us many inscriptions. In one of them, he used the same name Jambudvipa to describe the whole of India, which at the time included what is today Bangladesh, Pakistan, as well as part of Afghanistan. Figure 5.4, map of few regions listed in the Mahabharata. Many of them are also mentioned in the text as kingdoms. You do not need to remember those regions but notice how they cover the entire geography of the subcontinent. A few centuries later, Bharat became the name generally used for the Indian subcontinent. For instance, in an ancient text called the Vishwapuran, we read the country that lies north of the ocean and south of the snowy mountains is called Bharat. This name Bharat remains in use even today. In North India, it is generally written as Bharat, while in South India, it is often Bharatam. Think about it. Have you identified the snowy mountains? Do you think this brief description of Bharat is correct? It is interesting to note that different parts of the country adopted a similar definition for India. For instance, a poem of ancient Tamil literature from about 2000 years ago praising a king whose name is known from Cape Kumari in the south, from the great mountain in the north, from the oceans on the east and on the west. You can now recognize the great mountain in the north, and it should not be difficult to identify Cape Kumari. It looks like ancient Indians knew their geography well. Don't miss out. The Indian Constitution, which was first written in English, uses the phrase India, that is Bharat, right at the beginning. Similarly, the Hindi version of the Constitution mentions the same as Bharat Arthat India. Constitution, a document that spells out the basic principles and laws of a nation. The Indian Constitution, which will be studied in grade 7, came into force in 1950. Let's explore. In this reproduction of the first page of the original Constitution of India in figure 5.5, page 82, you can make out the phrase India, that is Bharat. How foreigners name India. The first foreigner to mention in India were the Persian, the ancient inhabitant of Iran. In the 6th century BCE, a Persian emperor launched a military campaign and gained control of the region of Indus River, which, as we saw, was earlier called Sindhu. So it is no surprise that in earliest record and stone inscriptions, the Persians refer to India as Hidu, or Hindu, which which are adaptations in their language of Sindhu. Note that in ancient Persian, Hindu is a purely geographic term. It does not refer here to the Hindu religion. Based on these Persian sources, the ancient Greeks named the region Indo or Indic. They dropped the initial letter H of Hindu because this letter did not exist in their Greek language. Sindhu, Hindu, Indoi, Indic. The ancient Chinese also interacted with India. In several texts, they refer to India as Yintu or Yindu. This word also originally came from Sindhu in the following manner: Sindhu, Hindu, Indu, Yindu. Figure 5.5, first page of Constitution of India. Source: reprint of the original Constitution of India, Ministry of Culture, Government of India, 2000. Don't miss out. Yuzhang, formerly spelled Hyun etc., traveled from China to India in the 7th century CE. He visited many parts of India, met scholars, collected Buddhist texts, and returned to China after 17 years. Here he translated the manuscript he took back with him from Sanskrit to Chinese. Several other Chinese scholars visited India over the centuries. Another Chinese word also derived from the Sindhu was Tainzu, but this word could also be understood as heavenly master. This reflects the respect the ancient Chinese had for India as the land of Buddha. You are probably quite familiar with a most recent term Hindustan, but you may not know that it was first used in a Persian inscription some 1800 years ago. Later on, this became the term used by most invaders of India to describe the Indian subcontinent. Before we move on, India is an ancient land which has had many names in the course of its history. The name given by the ancient inhabitant of India include Jambudvipa and Bharat. The latter became the widespread in time and is the name of India in most Indian language. Foreign visitors to or invaders of India mostly adopted name derived from the Sindhu or Indus River. This resulted in names like Hindu, Indoi, and eventually India. Questions, activities, and projects. Question number 1, discuss what could be the meaning of the quotation at the start of the chapter. Question number 2, true or false. The Rig Veda describes the entire geography of India. The Vishnu Puran describes the entire subcontinent. In Ashoka's time, Jambudvipa included what is today India, part of Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Pakistan. The Mahabharata lists many regions including Kashmir, Kutch, and Kerala. The term Hindustan first appeared in a Greek inscription more than 2000 years ago. In ancient Persian, the word Hindu refers to Hindu religion. Bharata is a name given to India by foreign travelers. Question number 3. If you were born some 2000 years ago and had the chance to name our country, what name or names might you have chosen and why? Use your imagination. Question number 4. Why did people travel to India from various parts of world in ancient time? What could be their motivation in undertaking such long journeys? Hint, there could be at least 4 or 5 motivations. Thank you.